What the happened in Super Bowl 53. The matchup was between fresh-faced Jared Goff, leading the high-powered West Coast offense schemed up by Sean McVay, and the GOAT, Tom Brady, who led an offense that had begun to deteriorate in terms of weapons, but was backed up by the signature Belichick defense. The Patriots got a good return on the first kickoff as dynamic returner Cordarrelle Patterson found the sideline, where he had to be pulled out of bounds by kicker Greg Zuerlein. Their offense also had a strong start as Brady's first handoff to Sony Michel went for 13 yards. They handed it to Patterson next for a good gain, then Michel again twice in a row to move the sticks and pick up another 3. On the next play, Brady took a 2-step drop and then rocketed one outside the numbers, targeting Chris Hogan, who was covered, causing Brady's first throw of the game to be tipped and then intercepted by linebacker Corey Littleton. The Rams' first possession off the turnover would be fruitless, however, as healthy knee-haver Todd Gurley tripped on his first rushing attempt. Goff had to throw away the ball on second, and on third, Goff threw a hospital ball to Josh Reynolds, who got his head blown off. They punted it right back to New England, who got it deep in their own territory. The Pats looked like they might be punting right back, but on 3rd and 9, Brady found Edelman on an out route where he was able to run up the sideline and move the sticks. After another unsuccessful rushing attempt, a failed screen where Rex Burkhead got his head blown back while he was still a defenseless receiver drew a penalty, giving them another first down. Another 2 touches by Burkhead got them a first down, and then Brady found Gronk over the middle for another first, getting them into field goal range. Brady then took a shot for Hogan down the left sideline, but he was well covered by Marcus Peters, and the ball sailed over their heads. On 3rd and 8, they decided to run it with James White, who was tackled well short of the sticks, forcing New England to take a field goal, where Gostkowski would miss left of the upright. It was about to be a long day. Goff would hand it to Robert Woods on a jet sweep for the first play of their next drive, followed by a nice throw on a play-action boot to Reynolds to get them the first at midfield. On 2nd and 10, Goff hit Woods on a hitch, but on the next play he stared Woods down, inviting Devin McCourty to come break up the pass. Hecker pinned the Patriots back inside their own 20 again, where a short gain by Michel, followed by a quick throw to Edelman, got them a first. Brady then tried Hogan deep down the seam, but once again the ball was tipped in the air and almost intercepted. Brady wasn't rattled though, hitting Edelman on a corner route on 2nd and 10 and moving them into Rams territory. On the next play, Brady tried to stand strong in the pocket, but got swallowed up by defenders and got stripped before David Andrews jumped on it, saving the possession. On 2nd and 19, they managed to get back on schedule as Brady hit Gronk underneath the Rams' soft zone coverage, and he worked his way down the sideline for 14 yards, but on 3rd and 5, Brady was pressured and had to throw the ball away. After getting pinned at their own 6 by the resulting punt, thick running back C.J. Anderson got 2 touches in a row, but got clotheslined in the backfield for a loss, but a false start on the Rams backed them up to 2nd and 10. They handed it to Anderson again, who picked up a meager gain, and on 3rd and long, Goff's pass got tipped and fell into the dirt. They were punting again, and the Patriots would get it on their own 37. Brady found Edelman on a quick out, and then Gronk over the middle for 2, before finding Edelman again on 3rd, wide open in the corner flat, setting them up in field goal range. The Pats found themselves on 3rd and long again, where Brady checked it down to Gronk, who only got halfway to the first down marker, and they'd have to settle for a field goal. Gostkowski's second kick was good, finally putting up the first points on the board, 3-0 with 10 minutes left in the first half. On the Rams' next drive, they started with a good run by Anderson, followed with a play-action shot to Robert Woods, where in real time, it looked like he secured it and toe-tapped the sideline. In slow motion, however, it looked like he barely didn't get both feet down, and New England probably should have challenged the ruling, but the Rams hurried up to the line and ran another play, making the previous one unreviewable. Anderson got stood up in the backfield for a loss, and then Goff tossed up a jump ball to Josh Reynolds on 3rd and 10, but he wasn't able to hang on. Hecker was punting from the logo again. The Pats quickly went 3 and out again after a short gain by Burkhead, a dropped ball by Michel, and a dump down to White failed to get the job done. A penalty on the punt gave the Rams great field position at the 45, and they decided to give Gurley 2 touches on the ground to get them to 3rd and short past midfield, where Goff surveyed after a play action and scrambled to his right before getting dropped to his knees by Kyle Van Noy for a huge loss. Hecker's next punt wasn't a great one as it fell short of the 20 and got a good Patriots bounce. Brady would get back to work. A quick throw to Edelman picked him up at 1st, and another throw to him on 2nd over the middle would move the chains again. A dump off to Patterson got them 5, and then on the following snap, the Rams had too many men on the field, giving the Patriots offense another first down. On the following 3rd and 10, Brady threw it to Patterson on a curl to get them to 4th and 1, where they'd go for it. Brady Brady wanted Gronk on a slant over the middle, but he was double covered. The pass fell incomplete past his outstretched hands. The Rams took over at their own 32, and Goff got dumped by blitzing linebacker Dante Hightower on a first down, losing 6. But on 2nd and 16, he delivered a strike to Brandon Cooks, returning on a deep curl, and got them back to 3rd and manageable. But on the next snap, Goff threw it too low for Woods to snatch, and the punt fest was officially underway. It was a good one though, as Hecker pinned the Patriots back on their own 2-yard line and they knelt on it, content to go to halftime with their 3-point lead. On the Rams' first play of the half, Jared Goff almost Jared goofed, throwing it straight to Dante Hightower, who luckily had linebacker hands. A big run by Gurley got them back on track before they handed it to him again 2 more times in a row, leaving them on 3rd and 5, where Goff tossed up a ball high and behind Brandon Cooks, who was absolutely clamped by Steph Gilmore. Hecker punted again, and the Pats were pinned deep at their own 8. A pair of power runs left them on 3rd and 4, where Brady zipped one to Edelman up the seam, and he managed to break a tackle, gaining 25 yards. A quick wide receiver screen got them to 3rd and 2, but Edelman was clamped by Marcus Peters, who got away with a hold, but the ball fell incomplete. And another beautiful punt pinned the Rams down at the 4. From their own end zone on 3rd and 6, Goff almost got sacked for a safety before he managed to throw it away at the last second, and they'd punt it back again. Hecker's next punt actually broke the Super Bowl record as he punted out of his own end zone, and it ended up taking a great bounce and a roll down to the New England 29, making it a 65-yarder. It says a lot about this game that was the biggest highlight so far. After a check down to White, looked like it was going to pick up a first, New England moved back to 2nd and 13 after an illegal shift, where Brady hit Edelman over the middle to get half of the yardage they needed for the first. On the 3rd down play, Brady put one up targeting Hogan, who had to stop Marcus Peters from intercepting the ball, and the Rams would once again have a chance to finally score some damn points. A nice rhythm throw to Josh Reynolds got them to 2nd and 3, where Anderson bowled forward for a first down. Goff then hit Cooks on a play-action comeback for about 15 yards, and on the following 3rd and 7, Goff slung it to Robert Woods on a deep dig for another chunk play. Next play, Goff loaded up and threw it late to Cooks, who was standing wide open in the end zone, but Jason McCourty had time to make up ground while the ball was in the air and knock it away. On 2nd, Goff hit Big Chungus on a swing pass, but he only got 3. And then on 3rd and 7, he was swarmed in the backfield by Kyle Van Noy and Dante Hightower, backing them up to the edge of field goal range. Zerline's long kick headed towards the upright, but ducked back inside at the last second, tying the game 3-3 with 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. New England's next series started with a stuffed run, but a defensive holding penalty gave them a new set of downs, and on the next play, Sony Michel bounced off a tackle and found some open field for 19 yards. The Pats pounded the rock 2 more times. Brady tried a contested throw to James White, but he was locked down and New England would be punting again. Allen's punt was a beauty as it bounced perfectly at the 1-yard line away from the end zone, where the defenders were able to down it at the 6. The Rams started their drive with a play-action boot in their own end zone and a dump down to Dump Truck, who picked up 9, but a delay of game backed them up 5 yards. Anderson took the handoff on 2nd and 6 and stiff-armed Steph Gilmore, who kept his eye on the prize, punching the ball out and causing it to roll out of bounds, leaving them on 3rd and 2. Goff took the snap, rolled right, and hit Cooks, who was standing behind the linebackers wide open for a first. The Rams' next 2 plays went nowhere, and on 3rd and 11, Goff dropped back, stood in the pocket, and rocketed the ball at the last second way out in front of Josh Reynolds. But on the other side of the field, Brandon Cooks was getting giga-held by Gilmore, and they got a fresh set of downs. On the next play, Goff found Cooks on a nice rhythm throw off play action on a deep curl, or handing it off to Gurley on the next play, who knifed through the defense for a big gain that was called back by a hold on the offensive line. On 1st and 20, Goff scrambled for the sideline before getting popped and losing 2 yards before overthrowing Cooks on 2nd. On 3rd, they handed the ball to Gurley, who got stuffed, losing even more yardage, and Hecker booted it to New England's 31. Brady found Gronk one-on-one with a linebacker for a big gain, and then Edelman sat down in the soft spot of the zone before getting them into Rams territory. Then Brady hit Burkhead on a quick hitch for another 7, then lofted a beautiful ball over the shoulder of Gronk, getting them down near the goal line at the 2. From the I formation, they handed it off to Michel, who scored the first touchdown of the game halfway through the 4th quarter, giving them a 10-3 lead. The Rams had to respond now. Goff rolled out and delivered to Cooks on a screen where he got loose and gained 18 before the next 2 plays went nowhere and left them on 3rd and 9. Goff caught the snap, and placed the ball perfectly so that Josh Reynolds could snag it and keep running on a shallow crosser, moving the sticks once again. He then dropped back and took his time in the pocket before delivering another strike to Robert Woods for yet another big gain. On the next play, Goff lofted a jump ball that hit Cooks over the shoulder and in the hands, before Deron Harmon hit him hard, knocking the ball free. On 2nd and 10, Goff threw off his back foot as the pass rush approached, and the underthrown floater went straight to Stephon Gilmore, who might have just sealed the deal. After an initial fruitless run, Michel galloped through a big hole on 2nd and 9 and got it all the way past the 30-yard line to get the Patriots a new set of downs and much better field position. The next run didn't look great, but a hands to the face call moved the Pats forward again, and on the next 2nd down, scrappy gym rat Rex Burkhead knifed through the defense, getting the Patriots into field goal range. A hold by Gronk on the next play would be declined, and the Patriots kept the 4 yards they gained on the play before a toss to Michel got them within 1 yard of picking up another first. On 3rd, Michel was tripped up short of the sticks, and the Rams would have to hope that Gostkowski missed, but he did not. The Patriots now held a 2-score lead with only 1 minute left on the clock, and the Rams had no timeouts. On 1st down, Goff tossed it for Woods, incomplete, and a holding call backed them up even further. On 1st and 20, he threw it to Woods over the middle. Time was ticking. On 2nd and 10, he hit Cooks over the middle. He ran with it, getting them to midfield in a flash, but time was still ticking. With 20 seconds left, Goff threw incomplete, stopping the clock. On 2nd and 10, he hit Cooks up the seam. They clocked it fast, and Zerline took the field to try and give them a chance of pulling off a miracle. But his kick went wide left. The Patriots rejoiced, and football Satan had all but secured his 6th ring. Brady took a knee while Belichick took a Gatorade bath, and it was all over. No one knew it at the time, but this was Brady's last dance in New England. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. I'm going back in time and making a what the f happened video for every past Super Bowl, and I even have one for this year's Super Bowl, so please go and check it out. Peace.